that less bias interpretation goes into written text as opposed to a video rant. It's very hard to come across as sincere and to not edit yourself up on the soapbox doing a performance. It is a performance. They're filming themselves, they're putting themselves out there. And so they know that more is coming across than just their message. Whereas in a text-based rant, it can be read different ways, but it is what it is. Whereas you have a video recording of yourself going on this rant, you know, you're being judged on your looks and the way you talk and what you're wearing and the setting you're in, and you know, that all plays an important role in the message as well. By a small community, YouTube is a small intellectual forum, but on a much larger scale, it's just a place where people go for entertainment. In modern and contemporary art history, you know, something needs to kind of explode and become more than itself before it can be broken down and evolve into something better and new. And I think that's where YouTube's at right now. I think it's at the point where it has, you know, so to say, jumped the shark, and now it needs to do something else to evolve into something better, something worthwhile, something with content, you know, democratic forum, a global classroom. So my question is, where are we going? How do we get there? What are we doing?
I was like, who is that woman? I do not recognize her from with that black hair.
That was, yeah, an intentional thing to kind of be incognito and distance myself from having to do this.
Did it help? Did the costume help?
Kind of, yeah. And you've mentioned something about the way it was edited, if that has an impact.
So I have a post, if you pull it down, I posted. Supposed to be a comment in there. How was your discussion about sincerity and performance created through jump cuts? Self-referential.
Well, mostly that was just kind of like a time constraint, and because I was so awkward and uncomfortable just talking to the camera, I had someone sit behind the camera and kind of feed me questions, so it was more like an interview discussion. And that was, you know, it was like half hour long, so I had to edit it to be just a statement.
How did the jump cuts affect your experience with the video?
So ironically self-referential.
So ironic.
Yeah, and I even made points like when I was being, you know, ironic or talking about the way you present yourself, you know, I made jokes about the way I was presented, but just because of the time, I had to cut that out. But that was the point.
Okay, everyone knows what a jump cut is. It's invented in the late 60s, but I would say primarily, you know, maybe they didn't invent it, but it was used by the New Wave, the French New Wave. And it's a cut where there's either a disarming change in the background or a disarming change in the character. So there's a change in time, which is marked spatially, and you should see the cut because she's edited with jump cuts. It's a very popular form of editing in contemporary cinema, so it's not disarming anymore. But it definitely allows you to know that time is being played with. And so all the ideas about authenticity that Jessica suggests to us about the talking head are destroyed by the jump cut. So do we believe her? Are we supposed to believe you, Delane?
I would hope so. I mean, if there was no time constraint on this at all, I think just the initial videotaping would have been, yeah, you would have seen the sincerity and come across.
But your glasses aren't even weird.
Yeah, it seemed like you were
it's
playing
not
a
there.
part. Like I was trying to figure out if you were being a
it's your hair.
certain
Yeah.
actress.
Why is it black?
I think it's just the,
the bad lighting?
shade, yeah.
It looked like a wig.
So do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Miranda?
Your hair is jiggling.
Can I make the comment?
Sure.
You say jump cut is supposed to destroy the, you know, belief in sincerity or authority whatsoever, but just like usually these days, people see, I mean, not those media stage people, but ordinary people see too many jump cuts in like broadcast news and documentaries or interviews. So it's almost the effect is, for me, the effect of jump cut was almost the opposite, that she was like creating the authority. Like somebody was interviewing, somebody was listening to.
It was edited.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So do you all think that there's been a flip And again, that would be like a highly postmodern, ironic, self-referential move that would not surprise me, that whereas the jump cut used to function to make sure that you understood that it wasn't authentic, it now has the reverse function and it makes it seem like regular mainstream news.
Yeah.
I think hers is more like a real television than Darren's.
Well, I think it brings up the whole idea of expertise a little bit, in that when you see evidence of editing, then you automatically give like credence to the author and somebody who has the expertise to create some sort of editing, and so.
Doesn't matter. I mean, also, you're the way that you're clearly performing and Darren is clearly not, also sort of raises questions of expertise in a way that are interesting. In that, sort of go back to Jessica's point about the way that oh, I'm talking in front of the camera, you know, this is what I really think, you know, we all have a particular relationship to that formal device. So when you guys are making videos, I want you to think about the form you're choosing. It expresses a lot to your viewers. Yep.
Well, I think this one also relates back to Darren's video in that this video is more entertaining, and it's definitely like, you know, because of all these cuts and the performance aspects, you know, it's like this is easier to watch. And you know, I mean, yeah, I'm not necessarily going to watch a video like Darren's by somebody I don't know, but I wouldn't be more inclined to watch a video like this where it's somebody sitting and performing and there's like edits and that sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, it's very connected to what he's thinking the regular viewer wants. The other question I would ask you all is, you know, we're not regular viewers. We're doing YouTube for a class. So, you know, which hat are you going to wear? And you're allowed to wear all of them. You know, but like, we can ask different things of YouTube than YouTube typically provides. We're seeing if YouTube can give it to us, right? And I am blogging about this class, and I'm like, I don't think we can do it. I actually don't think this class is going to work. I'm certain of it. I think it's going to collapse in on itself. I don't think there's enough content, you know, hard academic content in this place. And the question is, can we keep pushing at the place to allow us to be an intellectual forum or not? I don't know. I'm not certain. Okay, media making skills and some of you, both of those things are something that anybody can do. And when you start to do that, you're expressing ideas through your form of your video, not just through the words that you're saying. So how did it feel when you went in close, into this extreme close-ups of the mouse?
That's so gross.
It was gross. What else? I mean, you all saw it, right? It really made it feel different.
Yeah, I thought it was effective at, I mean, he was talking about people talking about nothing. I thought it was effective at just zooming in on the point he was trying to make.
Okay. So like, you know, if you're studying media seriously, and if you're thinking about making media seriously, you're using form to say things without having to say it with your mouth. And that's really good filmmaking. And you all can push yourself there. The vernacular of YouTube may not demand it, but it's not that hard to do. Anyone else want to respond to Dan? Because we have maybe time to see one more person. Anyone else in the class?
I just want to say, like, I understand your frustration, but like, why does that upset you so much? Like, don't watch it. Like, the point is, like, there's gonna be a lot of good that comes from everybody being able to put whatever the hell they want on, even if most of it is just shit. Like, I just, like, I don't think, like, anybody, there should be any moderation. I think that's the point.
You all hold on this idea that there's a lot of good when we live in a society where everyone gets deranged. I mean, I don't know if I agree with you or not.
I don't know, I just, like, I think there are plenty of venues in which, like, in order to, like, get the authority to go out and have your opinions heard, you have to do, like, years of study and you have to become reputable. But I don't think that there's something wrong with there being a venue where you don't need that.
I think there are healthier ways to get rid of anger.
A lot of them, it's a therapeutic tool. It's their representation of self on the internet.
And Darren?
I mean, this ranting is nothing new. If you look at any internet message board or forum or blogs, you have the same thing. I think the only difference here is you have a name to a face. So it seems like it's a lot more personal and people are a lot more invested, but I don't know if that's necessarily the case because people take message boards just as seriously or they take a blog just as seriously.
This is consistent an issue that we're sort of circulating around. We'll continue to move it forward, which is that this idea that if you add a face to writing, to text, does it add to the authenticity? Does it add to the power?